How is everyone today? I have a question. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're divine and you know it, say, I am.
I am.
Question number 2. Why is it that when we were children, I'm going to ask this. When was the last time any of you did the hokey pokey? No, I'm not going to have you do it. As tempting as it is, I'm not going to have you do it. But when was the last time the adult folks did the hokey pokey? Or any number of things that we did when we were children. But we're told, once you reach a certain age, these things are supposed to be let go. Why? Why can't I, as a 49-year-old man, finger paint if I want to? Don't judge me. Just saying. If I wanted to. If I wanted to jump rope, hopscotch, whatever we do as children, why can't we as adults do so? I mean, does Scripture not say that unless you are as a child, you cannot get into the gates of heaven? Does not mean immature, does not mean childlike. It means to have the joy, the expanse, imagination, and love that a child has. Why is it that when we were children, our teacher, any teachers in the room? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not you, it's the other ones. I hope. Why is it that when we were in school, our teachers said, a noun is blah, 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 blah. Any English majors in here? Okay, so a noun is... How many of us today as adults really think about what a noun is? I mean, we use them, but do we really think about them? Adjective is... Somebody over there was incorrect, but it's okay. I'm going to forgive you this time. Adjectives describe. When was the last time you went to Walmart or Target and looked for an adjective? Excuse me, I'm looking for a red blouse. Red is an adjective describing the noun, which is the blouse. Where is that? When was the last time we did this? We don't. How many of us as adults, this is me, and I may be preaching to the choir, but it's just me. It's just me. I don't like math. Now, I don't have a problem with $1, $2. I don't have a problem with math. I don't have a problem with what size is this shirt. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with x divided by the cotangent of q over... How many of us took calculus, trigonometry, or something as such? How many of you use it today in your regular everyday life? 3. The 3 of them. That's it. 3 people. Out of 4,000 of us, 3. But these are the things that we're forced as children to learn. Ha ha ha. Verb. What is a verb? This is specifically to my English nerds. Are they correct? Partly. Now, the reason it's partly is because the etymology of verb really means word. A covenant, an agreement. Anybody in here see the old film with Charleston Heston called The 10 Commandments? You remember Ramses? So as it is written, so shall it be done. Are you laughing at my Ramses voice? Because I'm getting ready to move y'all over there with the 3 of them. Why is it so as it is written, so shall it be done? Because for him, if I put the word down, it is as good as done. There's no in between. I say it, it happens. I write it, it's done. So what we say becomes what we do. We can say that it's not. We can lie to ourselves and lie to our neighbors and say, oh, no, not me. But if you really look, if we could crack this open and really see what each of us is thinking, And we don't think in words per se, we think in concepts. But the concepts become words because we speak. We don't say things that don't have some kind of connection in mind and consciousness. It's not like I'm going to say, I intend to say hello to this gentleman, and I'm planning on saying it in English, hello to this gentleman, and somehow as I'm thinking hello, konnichiwa. Did I just say that in Japanese? It doesn't happen that way for most of us. So clearly, if I'm thinking in English, then I'm going to speak in English. Now, as you heard in my bio, I do American Sign Language, right? Funny story. I had knee surgery, and you know how they put you out when you're having surgery. Well, as I was in the recovery room and waking up, the nurse came in and she asked me because I was coughing, and she asked me if I wanted something to drink. And I said, yes, I would like some ginger ale. And she smiled and she walks away. And she comes back a couple of minutes later and she asks the same question, and I answer her, yes, ginger ale, please. And she smiles and she walks away. This goes on for enough times that I'm starting to get annoyed. Like, how many times do I have to ask for ginger ale up in this place before I'm going to get it? And she comes back again and she asks the same question. At this point, I see my hands. Yes, please, can I have I been signing the entire time? And she said, yes, I knew from your thing that, you do this, and sooner or later you would wake up enough that you would start speaking. My mind at that point was thinking in the language of sign, American Sign Language. So my body responded accordingly, even though there was this part of my mind that wasn't even aware that that's what was happening. How many times do we think this and aren't even aware that we're doing this? It happens a lot. We are all practitioners of truth, truth students. And you can answer this for yourself as you're thinking about this. A couple of weeks ago, I was speaking at Unity Center of Light in Bowie. And I mentioned, there's a story in the Bible of a centurion, soldier, who has a servant who is not well. And the Jews that this centurion took great care of said, we have a teacher, a rabbi, who is very skilled in healing. Let us bring him so that he may heal your servant. And the centurion says, I like this idea. And he says a couple of other things. And the Jews go to Jesus. And they tell him, so there's a centurion, servant, not well, told him, you're skilled. And Jesus says, okay, let me get my stuff. And no, time out. This is what he said. I am a centurion. I am a man of great power, and I know that when I say a thing, it is done. Based on what they have told me, I know you too are such a man. So if you say that my servant is healed, it is done. To which Jesus said, wow, in all of Israel, I have not seen faith such as this. He didn't need me to show up in the flesh. He trusts that my word is enough. Oftentimes, when I was a child, my father used to teach me, your word is your bond. If you say it, you should be a man of enough integrity that if I tell you, yes, I will see you next Saturday at noon, it's not going to be at 3. You trust my word. But once again, being humans, we often forget. And we say this, and we do this. Anyone in here know? I see a couple of my Facebook friends in here, so I know you do it. Anyone else in here do Facebook? Oh, wow, a couple of you. Okay, so I love the invention of Facebook for several reasons. 1, it is a great way to connect with people all over the world. 2, it is a great practice exercise for me to be mindful. Because people say things on Facebook that they will never say to someone's face. I have had several discussions with Om Shanti, the spiritual folks, referencing things that they have said on Facebook, referencing what happened in Baltimore, what's happening in Baltimore, various acts of police brutality and racism, etc., around the country. acts of homophobic hate crimes around, and I read what they say. And the first thing that I want to do, being honest, full disclosure, first thing I want to do, swift sidekick. That's what I want to do. But I say, I know this thing called truth. Even though right here in this present moment, I feel like slapping somebody. I know this thing called truth. So what do I need to do as a practitioner of truth? Go back to that place within where I know that whatever they're saying is simply because they are asleep. Because they can't not be the same that I am. We are all God. So even when we talk about people in other countries and we refer to them as terrorists, that is a fact. But the truth of the matter is, they too are God. But we forget this. We go out in fear. I hope they don't whatever. I hope it's safe for me to get on the metro, whatever. Because we get afraid of them. Whoever them are. Why? Why is it so quick, so easy for us to slip into sleepfulness? Now, because you are all here, you are all awake. Know and understand that. Regardless if this is your first time or your 4,627th time, you are awake or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't even be in a place to be in resonance to hearing these words. The fact that you are hearing me tell you you are God, no less divine than Jesus the Christ, says that you are awake enough to hear that. And I can tell by some of the looks and some of the vibes that I'm feeling, that is too big for you to put on. You're like, oh, I like the way that outfit looks, but it doesn't fit me. It's time to find a tailor and make it fit. It's who and what you are. Would you ever walk up to Jesus and say, what's this thing with the fish? Wait, come here. What's your name? Jesus. Okay, look, I read this in the paper last week, that you spit and made some mud and put it in. Who are you? Would you do it? No, because you know, trust, and respect the power that Jesus the Christ demonstrated. But remember that he said, I did these miracles, and so can you. It doesn't end there, though. This is the part. It doesn't end there. It's not, I did these miracles, so can you. Gotta go, I'm going somewhere. It's not where it ended. I did this, so can you, and even greater. Now, if you're not going to question him to say, what's with the fish and the bread? What is the... You're not going to question that. But you're going to say, this thing called divinity that clothes me is too great for me. It's too big for me. But it's who and what you are. You don't wake up one day and say, this thing called feminine just, it doesn't fit anymore. Or, man, it doesn't fit anymore. You don't take your skin color off. It's part of who you are. You can't take your divinity off. There are certain things about our physicality that, yes, they can be changed, but who you are can't be. So regardless of what your name is, and I'm going to pick on Renee since VCU, if I were to say, Renee, starting tomorrow, your new name is Tabitha. And Renee says, okay. Tabitha says, okay. Does that change who she is? It's a change of name, not a change of state, not a change of beingness. Why is it so difficult for us to stand and affirm and have such a faith as this that I understand it is not my place to have trust in law enforcement as a concept? My place is to have trust in the law of the universe. Because if I trust the law of creation, law enforcement will fall in line with that. Because we already know, does prayer work? So if I say, 1, is every police officer bad? No. There are a few. Is every Middle Easterner a terrorist? No. There are a few. So what is my place? Affirm what I know to be the truth. I trust in the law of the universe, God as law, God as principle, regardless of what this looks like. I'm not going to be swayed or moved at the winds of appearance because I have to know the truth. I wake up in the morning and I go to the doctor and the doctor says, based upon the x-rays and this and that, you have, time out, doc. I hear what you're saying, and I know you're using the language that you are most comfortable with. I don't have X, Y, and Z. My body may be experiencing this thing you call illness, this thing you call discord, dis-ease. But check this out. I have these things called truth principles where I am standing and affirming that I know the truth of my being. God cannot be sick. If God cannot be sick, then I cannot be sick, even if my body is experiencing it. It's not the truth. But what we do is we go to the doctor and we get swayed ever so easily. You have. And I have a very intimate relationship with this doctor thing because my father was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease when I was in 5th grade-ish and was given 2 to 4 years to live because of a myotrophic lateral sclerosis. 2 to 4 years. I'm 49 years old now. If I calculate every wake, viewing, and funeral that I've ever been to in my life, it averages to about 5 or so per year. I have a very intimate relationship with this thing we call death. But I don't believe in it anymore. I used to. But if Jesus can walk into a place and say, now, quick question. Is Jesus a liar? No. He walked into a place and there was a young girl who was dead. But he didn't say she was dead. He said she was asleep. Because the consciousness of the people could not hear the truth. So he said, rather than mess with these people's minds and tell them that I just raised this girl back from the dead, she's asleep. It's the same reason he spit and made mud, because the consciousness of the person could not accept the truth. Are you at a place where you are ready and able and willing to accept the truth of who and what you are? Because if they couldn't accept it as the recipient of it, how do you accept it as the expression of it? How do you wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror, and realize it is Christ seeing itself as you? How do you wake up and realize that Jesus can be crucified, but Christ cannot? So you wake up and you go to the doctor and the doctor says whatever the doctor says and you let it whop, whop, boom. That's letting the personhood take the beating. Rather than saying, whoa, time out. You got me one good one. Shake it off because I know the truth. I know who and what I am. I have such a faith as this that I can speak a thing that is not. My body right now is experiencing whatever that 17-letter word is. That is a fact. But I'm speaking a truth, knowing that my body can restore itself. Deepak, you know who Deepak Chopra is? Okay. First time I heard this man say this, I said, and once again, full disclosure, when I heard him say this, I said, if I see this man walking down the street, I'm going to slap him. Because this is how it hit me, just poof. Deepak said that every single one of us should not age. We shouldn't age. Meaning, if you don't want gray hair, you don't have to have it. I wish I had heard that a while ago, but if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. But we have it because, one, there's this thing called race consciousness or mass consciousness, and it believes it. And we aren't at a place yet where we can sever ourselves from that completely. Because if we could, and you wanted to jump from there to the balcony, you could. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't. If you are God, and God is in control of the laws of all of nature to the point where Jesus could say, "Storm, be still," and it was, then so can you. So Deepak says, you don't have to grow old. You don't have to say, well, you know, they say when you reach 50, the big 3-0, you know, it's all downhill from there. We don't have to buy into that if we don't want to. Our body, the DNA, etc., of our body itself regenerates. Do you know that? Cells regenerate. Everything regenerates. There is no reason why it should get to a point where it's, okay, well, we're done making those. There's no reason for it. Because everything in us is made to continue. But we believe that we're not supposed to, so we buy into it. I say, starting today, stop affirming the lies. Start affirming what you know is the truth. You are the Christ. The same power that Jesus had as the Christ is the same power you have. When Moses went to the mountain and said, okay, they're going to ask me who sent me, Yod He Vav He, I am that I am, sent you. I am. So when you look in the mirror, starting tomorrow morning, and you decide, setting the intention for your day, and you look at I am, and speak it and know that it is so. Regardless of what happens, you're in traffic. I'm right where I am supposed to be. Because I can't see up here. Spirit can. I am right where I'm supposed to be. I don't know why, and I don't need to know why. I trust that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be when I am there. And breathe. Whatever it is you want in your life, we talk about we want more prosperity, we want more abundance, but we will not clarify and define what that is. I want to be prosperous. Job was prosperous with suffering. You can have an abundance of a bad thing. So when you say, I want prosperity, I want abundance, put the line and fill it in. I want prosperity of health, body, and mind. Abundant relationships with love and peace and joy. Because these folks, they're bringing me discord, and I don't want them in my choir anymore. Start surrounding yourself with the tribe, the choir, the orchestra that makes the music of heaven in your life. Now, my time is up, but I'm telling you this now. When I see you, 'cause I will, wherever I see you, 'cause I will, I'm going to walk up on you and ask you, who are you today? Who did you decide to be today? Because with that I am, what you are doing is saying, this is who I decide to be today. Everyone who sees me and everyone who I see sees the face of God. Everyone that I touch and everyone who touches me feels the hand of God. Everyone that I hear and everyone who hears me hears the voice of God. That's who I decide to be today. Now, how do you decide to do it? And once you have that, you have it all. And so it is.